tidbits of knowledge that I have gathered and that I continue to learn how to use what we already have in our bodies, which is going to be the mucous membrane. These cells in the mucous membranes, the epithelial cells, and then have this hair-like, we want a strong enough immune system, but we don't want it to go overboard. How do I boost my mucus production? How do I make my mucous membranes really healthy? Framework of why you need to be caring about mucous membranes, right? Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Whole Wellness Method video. I am Lida Sportel at the upcoming lidashealing.com and founder of the Whole Wellness Method. And this video is part of the video series Getting Through the Coronavirus Crisis with You. We are on a journey together to get over this, and I am offering you as many tips and as many tools and as many ideas and as many little tidbits of knowledge that I have gathered and that I continue to learn. I'm offering that to you in hopes to help you feel more empowered, help you take precautions, help you use natural medicine, and help you use the amazing ability that our body has naturally to heal. So this conversation today is going to be expanding on that exact topic, which is how to use what we already have in our bodies, which is going to be the mucous membranes. We're going to talk about the mucous membranes, and you're going to see why this is relevant to what we are struggling with this pandemic, with this global crisis. So if you're thinking, I don't care about mucous membranes, after the video is over, you might find that you have changed your mind and you actually are a big fan of your mucous membranes. Okay, so let's talk more specifically about this. A lot of the practitioners and the doctors and the experts out there are talking about boosting your immune system. And I am one of those that I am a big proponent of boosting our immune systems right now in natural ways. However, I don't hear a lot of practitioners talk about the first line of defense that our body has before the immune system even gets involved. So the first line of defense, thankfully, Dr. Michael Murray has brought this to a lot of the doctors' attention and patients and practitioners as well. In terms of the first line of defense that our body has against viruses in general, any viruses, is those mucous membranes that line our respiratory tract. So if we think of it in terms of just immune system, we are missing the fact that the body already has the ability to trap and to brush off the virus before it even becomes a threat, and the body now elicits the white blood cells and everything else that it does to fight that virus. So let me talk more about that. So the mucous membranes are lining our nasal cavity, our sinuses, our throat, our mouth, our trachea, all the way down to the bronchi. Now, those mucous membranes, and the way Dr. Murray explains it, is that they have these cells. I'm not going to go into biology, I promise, although I love to geek out at other times. Here I'm just going to try to keep it very simple. But there's these cells in the mucous membranes, the epithelial cells, and they have these hair-like structures above them, around them, that are kind of like brushes, mini brushes. And what those do is they brush off microorganisms, including viruses. The other thing that the mucous membranes have is they have mucus, right? We know mucus, but we don't realize how important mucus is right now. So the combination of those brush-like structures and the mucus, we want to support both these structures because the mucus is trapping all the microorganisms and gets rid of them. And the hair-like structures are brushing off all the microorganisms that don't belong in the respiratory tract. So the body has wisdom. It knows how to protect itself. From a physiology standpoint, we have these structures in our body to protect us from having that virus or any other microorganisms, any other particle go and make itself at home in our own body. So again, there is this first line of defense. So you might be thinking right now, why do I care about that? Okay, my body has that, that's great. Why you care about that is because what we need to understand is that the lungs do not have those structures, do not have those mucous membranes, do not have the ability to produce that mucus or those brush-like structures, which means that if the virus does make its way down to the lungs, there's not much protection going on there, other than our own immune system, which now comes in and starts attacking the virus. And like I've talked about in my previous video, and I've been talking about that in many videos, that becomes part of the big problem. When our immune system starts attacking our lungs in an effort to fight the virus, it elicits that cytokine storm, which is an excessive inflammatory response, and that's most of the deaths are caused by this intense inflammation because it creates a lot of fluid in the lungs and then we can't breathe. So it is important to address this before the virus gets to the lungs and before the immune system elicits such a strong response. So the way I've kind of organized this in my head and how I explain it to my clients and how I'd like to explain it to you is that we have 3 different ways to target this whole coronavirus situation. Number 1 is lessen the viral load. So once I do get infected, or of course our talk is not to get infected, but if I do get infected, how do I lessen the amount of viral particles that I have in my body? So we're going to be talking a lot about that. Number 2 is how do I make it really hard for the virus to get from my respiratory tract or my GI tract, which we'll talk about in another video. How do I make it hard for the virus to make its way to the lungs? So that's what we're talking about today. And number 3 is how do I make it so my immune system is fighting the virus, but it's not eliciting a super strong response either. So how it's strong enough, but not too strong. So we want a strong enough immune system, but we don't want it to go overboard. So these are the 3 things: reducing viral load. Number 2, making it hard for the virus to make its way to the lungs. Number 3, having a strong immune system to fight the virus, but not elicit a cytokine storm. So again, this is not a treatment. This is not the cure. This is not any medical advice. This is the way I've organized it in my head and the way that I've been trying to organize everything that I'm offering you in terms of these 3 ways of really addressing this scary situation. So back to what I was saying about the mucous membranes, that falls under that second aspect that I talked about, which is that those mucous membranes make it hard for the virus to make its way down to the lungs because we have all that mucus that is able to trap the virus and not allow it to go down. So the next question then is, how do I boost my mucus production? How do I make my mucous membranes really healthy? How do I use natural nutrition and herbs and remedies and all kinds of different techniques to boost those mucous membranes and not have them be weak? And also, what are the things that are weakening my mucous membranes? So all this talk we are going to be having in upcoming videos. I just wanted to give you a little bit of the framework of why you need to be caring about mucous membranes, right? So it's not something that we all are all aware of, and we are more aware of the immune system and boosting that, which is also part of the conversation, but we're not so much talking about those mucous membranes. So again, I'll be sharing more on that topic. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you next time, leaving you in whole wellness. Bye-bye.